I want to ask you a quick question. Do you believe that you are called to do greater things in your life than even Jesus did? While you're thinking about that, let me tell you a short story. I was at a big Christian event a few years ago called New Wine. It's a big conference where there's about 20,000 other Christians. I was doing some stuff for IJM, and also I was on the prayer ministry team at their evening services. Anyway, I got praying for this guy who had come to the front, and he wanted prayer for something really specific, but eventually I just got this urge in my heart that actually I needed to pray for his heart instead of what he was asking me to, and that wouldn't go away, and I ummed and ahed over it, and eventually I plucked up the guts and said, actually I think I need to pray for your heart for some reason instead. Then he told me that he had really severe angina, and just before coming to New Wine he'd had stents put in his heart, which were really adding to the pain that he already had, and it was so painful that he couldn't even walk to get to the services in the evening and morning. He had to get a taxi just from his tent to the venue that we were in. It was that painful to walk, and he had the pain then as well, and it was really severe and painful. Anyway, so I thought to myself, oh right, well I kind of wasn't expecting that, so I guess I've got to pray for him now. And thinking I'm going to look like an absolute muppet when this doesn't do anything. But I prayed for him, and at the end of praying for him I asked him how he was feeling, and he just turned to me and really peacefully said, yeah, all the pain is completely gone. And that evening he was able to walk out of the venue and back to his tent on his own without any aid for the first time. I was absolutely buzzing after that, and little did I expect when I'd started that shift that evening that that sort of thing would happen. And it's got me thinking, I don't think if it had been outside of that setting that at that time I would have necessarily just gone up to him if I'd met him on the street, for example, and I'd had that feeling of wanting to pray for his heart. I'm not sure I would have had the confidence to do that. But then I would have completely missed out if that had happened outside in normal life, on having that opportunity to have that buzz afterwards and to literally pray him into good health. I wonder how many times in our lives we miss out on the opportunities that God has for us to exceed expectations, to do amazing things, just because we're worried that God won't come through to us. But the Bible actually tells us, going back to that question at the beginning, Jesus tells us that those who believe in him can do even greater things than him. So here is my challenge for you this week, because we are in a different world and you can't just go out onto the street and pray for someone, and that might not be the place of confidence that you're at anyway. What does it look like in lockdown for you to do great things? What does it look like for you to do greater things than even Jesus did? Well, I think the key is in what Jesus says in that sentence. It's those who believe in him, those who follow him. Now, we have an unprecedented opportunity while we're in lockdown. Most of us have a bit more time in our hands than we would have usually. So why not commit over this next week to getting to know him better, to thinking about what your next step for following him might be, and to asking him for the confidence to step out next time God gives you something slightly crazy to do.